Hey, 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 you are live. Hey, 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 it's Joe Pole from Atlanta. Welcome. Happy Monday. For some, it's Meatless Monday, Mindset Monday, Money Monday. I've done talks and videos and posts on that. But today we're going to talk about multitasking. And have you struggled with doing things, trying to get things done, multitasking, and you just can't get it done? We all struggle with that. And what's interesting is when I researched this, it was an eye-opener for me. And much of this, many of the solutions will apply to me. And actually, much of what we call multitasking isn't even multitasking. It's switch tasking or sequence tasking. It's really not multitasking. So the things that are truly multitasking would be like walking, jogging, listening to a podcast, riding a bike, listening to a podcast, driving, talking on the phone, obviously driving and texting or doing emails even while walking or jogging. Probably shouldn't be texting or emailing. You're probably going to lose your footing and maybe trip and fall and not see the oncoming car. There have been too many people with accidents, gotten injured, or even got killed, being distracted while they were either walking, jogging, or riding a bike. And many people say, hey, Dr. Pohl, how do you get things done? You seem to get so many things done. And even in my office, it's juggling. I'm really not multitasking. I might have someone in labor. I might have to do surgery on someone, and they're getting ready. That person, I got patients in the office. I've got 4 rooms running at the same time. And that's really not multitasking. It's really sequence tasking or switch tasking. So the experts recommend that we only multitask things that are routine tasks like, laundry, and maybe even when you're cooking and doing laundry, that's really not even multitasking. You may be putting in a load of wash and putting a load into the dryer. You may be folding a few things while you're simmering some things in the kitchen. You're switching from one task to the next. And so let me give you some reasons why you should be careful with multitasking. I've got 2 sources that I've blended together. One says 7 reasons multitasking shouldn't be done if you actually want to get things done. One that had 12 reasons. There's an overlap there, and I'll just go over a few of them. And then I've got some suggestions on how you can maybe be a little bit more organized. So your brain actually does not like multitasking. We like to be focused on things. And when we're not focused and we're trying to do several things at the same time, we're more likely to make mistakes. And so there was a study at Stanford University where they did some multitasking, and people were making mistakes when they were asked to do multiple things at the same time. And your memory will actually suffer. So there's an interesting study, many of these done in California. University of California in San Francisco. They had different age people from age 20 all the way to age 80. And they gave them switch different images. And the older you got, the less likely you were to remember the earlier images. So, but everyone had trouble remembering the earlier images. So switching the tasks. Multitasking can actually cause anxiety and stress. Interesting study. Again, University of California, but in Irvine. And what they did is they had employees and they split them into 2 groups. One had access to email and one didn't. And guess what? The group that had access to email was they had higher resting heart rates. They were just more anxious because they felt like that's a task that they had to do. And the other group was more relaxed. Your creativity is actually inhibited with multitasking. You will never have working memory left to come up with ideas and concepts if you're too much multitasking. Apparently, our frontal lobe is critical for thinking and creativity. Multitasking can actually waste time and slow you down. There's a principle called the Ohio principle, not the state, but stands for only handle it once. Touch it once and then decide whether you're going to keep it, file it, or dump it. What else? And the final thing, no, got a couple more here. You can actually, if you multitask like eating and watching TV or eating and checking emails or texting at the same time, it can actually lead to overeating because you're not focused on the eating. You don't even know when you're full. That brings up something about, I get in trouble for this from my wife, not being present, at the dinner table. You've got your phone there, and my excuse is, well, I'm a doctor. I have to have my phone there because someone may need to reach me. It could be in the other room, and I'll hear it, ring over there. I don't need to be trying to have a conversation with the family and answering a text or something. It's just rude, So be present for your work, and then be present for your family. That's might be a good recommendation there. You're actually, let's see, there was another study done at Western Washington University. This is interesting. It's called inattentional blindness. They took some college students and they had a clown riding a unicycle. And the ones that were walking around with their cell phone had no idea that there was a clown on a unicycle. 75% didn't. And of course, the ones that weren't on their phone, they noticed this clown on a unicycle. It's called inattentional blindness. And finally, you already mentioned it, multitasking can be dangerous. Not watching the road, even if you're just walking, you gotta watch everything out there, watch the cars, and don't want to get hit, don't want to trip and fall. All right, so what are some solutions? The other day I was listening to Rachel Peterson, and she was she's an entrepreneur, network marketer, and we've employed a lot of these strategies on my team. It's made us more efficient, but she has 20 transformational time-saving strategies and opportunities. And I'll be happy to send you the 20 if you'd like them, but let's go over a couple of them. She recommends that we batch similar jobs. That makes sense, makes us more efficient. So if you're going to answer email, you answer email, do some phone calls, kind of batch them together, and maybe set a timer for certain tasks. I'm only going to do 30 minutes and do email, and 30 minutes I'm going to take some phone calls, and 30 minutes I'm going to do this. So setting a timer, and learning to say no is difficult. Many of us just want to please everybody, want to say yes, 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 I'll do this. As a physician, I've been asked to be on this committee, that committee, this committee, and do this and that. And you have to learn to say no. There's a limit. And for those of you who have kids and school-age kids, the school asks you to do a bunch of things, and at some point, you have to say, I can't fit that into my schedule. And although my kids are out of the house, I can empathize with families where they're multitasking or switch tasking in the morning, trying to get the kids out of the door. Now with COVID-19, some of them are doing it virtual, but some of them are going to school. And, and if you're working too, you got a pretty frazzled life, trying to make lunches and make your lunch and make everyone look presentable, get them to the bus, drive them to school, going to work. And now you got to worry about dinner, lots of juggling going on. So the final recommendation from Rachel Peterson is to time block everything. And there are people who time block every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes. And instead of having a to-do list with 20, 30 things on it, pick 2 or 3, 4 things that you're going to focus on that day. Batch them due to similar activity and actually get them done. So I hope that this is helpful. If you need the information or the links to the reasons why you shouldn't be multitasking, I'd be happy to send that to you. Just drop me a comment or send me a message. Same thing with Rachel Peterson's 20 transformational ways to save time. And remember, to make any transformational changes, you have to start, you have to be consistent, and you can't quit. See you all tomorrow.